If anybody is still out there in the lobby, I'd encourage you guys to wander in and sit down. We're going to get started here. My name is Dr. John Malpe. I'm the current president of the board of directors for the Eagle Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2024 State of the City. The first thing I'd like to do is invite Pastor, where is he? There he is, Pastor Tim. He's going to pray for us as we get started here.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to our building. Glad to, can I add you to our church attendance on Sunday? That'd be okay? This church was started in 1923 with 11 people. And then when I came in 1995, it had 65 people. And we ministered to 1,300 people last Sunday. And I only say that just to say it's wonderful to see growth, but it comes with its challenges, doesn't it? And so as I pray for the city, it's to pray for our mayor, pray for our leaders, to pray for our businesses, because we face challenges, because we have such a special place. And so I think it's an incredible blessing and an incredible challenge at the same time. So let me pray as we enter into the evening. Father, we thank you for these moments together. And we are so aware that Eagle, Idaho is a very special place. It's a place where so many people in the world wish they could live, but it's our home, and you've given us the stewardship over it, and you've, in your words, said, pray for the leaders, for they carry a great responsibility. So we pray today for our mayor, Brad Pike. We ask for your hand on all our council members, on every person that carries leadership, our law enforcement. We pray for protection over them. We ask that you would visit our proceedings tonight, and that your hand would be over their decisions, over their work, and that a year from now we'd look back and say, thank you, God, that you really were with us in the process. In Jesus' name. And everyone said together, amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Tim. So our honor guard tonight is our American Legion post, Orville Jackson 127, our local post here. And they're going to present the colors along with our local Boy Scouts. If everyone would stand for honoring the flag and Pledge of Allegiance. You guys can sit down. Thought I was going to drop the mic there. That would have been embarrassing. All right. So this event would not be possible to be free to you guys if we didn't have a bunch of amazing sponsors who love our community as much as you guys do. And our title sponsor for tonight is Valnova. And Rob from Valnova is going to say a few words for you guys and then let you know what they got going on.
Thanks, Doctor. Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Rob Behunin with Valnova. I'm not going to say a whole lot. You can come out in the foyer and see the map. We're a master plan community in the beautiful sacred foothills of Eagle City, and we're very glad to be part of the community. My dad, who's a Green Beret, now 85 years old, taught me something really important about public speaking, and that is be bright and be gone. And I will do that because you have come to hear the mayor. And another wise man said, brevity is the soul of wit, and I believe that as well. But let me just make my remarks very poignant by reciting one of my favorite poets, Emily Dickinson. And it goes like this. I think it's appropriate. We're here in the church, so I can recite this for you. She said this: I never saw a moor, and I never saw the sea, but I know how the heather looks, and I know what a wave must be. Now I've never talked with God, nor visited in heaven, yet certain am I of the spot, as if a chart were given. Being here with you, being part of this community, the Eagle Chamber, Eagle City, and you wonderful people, this is heaven for us. We appreciate how you've welcomed us to the community. We want to be part of what you're doing. And let's just keep Eagle, even though we're growing and having challenges, it's still, for us, quite a little bit of heaven here on earth. So thank you. We appreciate you. Anything we can do for you, we want to hear about it. Let's have a great evening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rob. Okay. So one last order of business for the chamber, as I'm banging stuff around up here. So every year we like to give away a Business of the Year award, and we have a whole process of figuring that out. And this year we decided to give out 2. So I'm going to call each of them up here one at a time. First, I'd like to call up our first presenter, our first award winner, Redlands Gentleman Grooming. You guys all could have came up. You don't have to be shy. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for everything. And the next business is Red Chair Lavender. Where are you guys at? I'm on the wrong side? I'm sorry, they're right here. Coming up, guys.
Awesome, thank you.
There you go. And right there. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Okay. Dana's going to come up from the city, and she's going to introduce the mayor, who you guys want to see. You're tired of looking at me, I'm sure.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. We are so excited to have this State of the City 2024. As an Eagle resident since 2011, Mayor Brad Pike moved to Eagle with his beautiful wife, Tammy, their 2 sons, and decades of community service. Whether it was his career as fire captain, his passion for public safety that led him to take the initiative to the state government in California and ultimately fix a deadly highway in California, or his years of serving on the city council as vice mayor and mayor of Hollister, California, or his baseball experience, where he worked his way through college playing baseball on an athletic scholarship, and then later managed and coached the national baseball team for Guatemala. Or maybe it was his earliest years of pain, where he tragically was hit from a car twice on the same road. It's an interesting story. But that experience instilled in him a deep compassion for those who struggle, as well as a deep desire to do something to help. Mayor Brad Pike came prepared to continue his community engagement by serving the City of Eagle on the City Council as the president before becoming the mayor of the City of Eagle. As one who understands and appreciates the strength of a team, please join me in giving a warm welcome to the City of Eagle's mayor, Mayor Brad Pike.
These aren't my notes, so these are mine. All right, let's get this out of the way. All right, Dana, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it, and all the hard work she put together helping me get this State of the City address started. I apologize to the front row here because I'm talking right down at you, but don't hold that against me. But I also want to give thanks also to something that we didn't talk about a little bit earlier, but what an honor it was to see Troop 77 come up here. These are our future leaders, and then our heroes that presented the colors for our Post 127. I think they earn a round of applause for that, don't you? Well, I'm also honored tonight to introduce my wife and one of my sons, Tammy and Ryan. Tammy and I have been married 32 years, and we've had two grown sons. One is a Marine, was a Marine, always a Marine, and the other one is working through his IT stuff, and he's going to someday maybe run the world with the computer. We'll see. But I appreciate them supporting me tonight, and if you can't tell, I'm a little nervous. Are you guys a little nervous? It's okay to be nervous, right? Yeah, because I'm sweating already. I can kind of feel it stuff. But I want to acknowledge those things that I think are honorable to me as a husband and a father and also a leader in the community. But now, I'd also like to introduce the City Council. Without their legislative leadership, the functioning of the city does not take place. So as I call your name, would you just please stand up real quick? Council President Helen Russell. Pro Tem Melissa Gindelsberger. Councilmember Craig Kwame. And last but not least, Councilwoman Mary May. Tonight, we also want to acknowledge some of the past leadership within our community. And if I miss anybody that snuck in as a former dignitary, just raise your hand and we'll acknowledge you, but I apologize to that. But we have two former council mayors, and they were council members, and then mayors. But Steve Gerber and Nancy Merrill, please stand, and we want to acknowledge you for being past mayors. I don't know if former council member Kenny Pittman came back in yet. He was one of the honor guards, but Kenny Pittman served on the city council, as did Miranda Gold, which is also on the ACHD board now. And I think Miranda's sitting in the back. Welcome her. Okay, as you can see, as the map changes, and if I'm in your way, I apologize, but as you can see, the City of Eagle is growing. We're up at 37,550 residents as to date through the census. And here's one of the staggering statistics. We have over 75.3 square miles of service that needs to be provided to our citizens within the community as we grow. My focus tonight is to do three phases: to help communicate, to help educate, and then maintain the proper levels of service, which we will be providing a level of service study for our law enforcement here in the near future. Some of the ways that we communicate. Our public information officer, Dana, which just came up and graciously introduced me, she helps the city with the following. We have a city website, we have an alert and a calendar notifications, we have an e-newsletter, we have an Explore Eagle Idaho app, and we also have social media. One of the fun things that I've started to be able to provide is what we call Mayor Minute. We've done 33 of those so far in these last 10 months, and they basically provide a weekly update of what's going on within the city. Some of it not in real detail, but some of it just for fun, but also some of it to just inform you of actually what's happening within a week span of events within the community. We also have started a podcast series, and they basically cover the 10 taxing districts that we all pay taxes to, and some community members pay the 11th tax, which is the flood district number 10, if you're within the borders of the Boise River. One of the things too is I want to mention is we are starting 2 safety programs within the community. One of them is for Cities Hall and the staff there, and another is for the citizens as next year we start progressing towards the fulfillment of that need. And you may say, well, Brad, we don't have any emergencies in the city of Eagle. We're pretty safe. I agree to a point until an EMP or some weird thing goes on with the power and all the electricity and all of our computers and all of our IT things go down. Most of us in this room that were raised on a pad of paper and a pencil can probably go right back into normal operations and actually count change back to a customer at a convenience store. I learned that as my first job at 18 at Toys R Us. I learned real quickly in the cash register business that you better be quick on your numbers or you're going to be in trouble by the customer. And so that puts a little pressure on you to begin with. But let me talk a little bit more about CHET, which is, I put the acronym together for the City Hall Emergency Training. And the reason we're calling it emergency training is because today we have no idea what's happening in our world. As chaotic as it is, as we live in a relatively safe community, but here's the deal, we want to keep it that way. We want to be proactive in prevention as much as possible, and one of the key points is to making sure the staff feel safe when they're coming to work every day. So we're implementing a program with not only training, but some safety features that are going to be implemented into the city that will come shortly with the funding element that the council graciously already allowed to be funded. And so I appreciate that. That's coming up in the near future. But then after that, we're going to dovetail right into a citizens emergency training, not teams, but training. Because in this world today, things change on a dime. So we want to make sure, though, that the public is aware of what to do in the event that we do have a power outage, we do have a flood, we do have an earthquake. We've all experienced this earthquake a couple of years ago. I was unfortunate enough to work the 89 Loma Prieta earthquake. I was on duty that day, and let me tell you, I don't want to work another earthquake. That was really chaotic, and that was in the Bay Area, and you can imagine the number of people. But because of our resources are so limited in the city of Eagle, when a disaster happens, basically it's everyone for themselves. So what better way is to implement a program for your community to where you know through your HOAs or for your community church service groups or any of the other options you may have to bring forth an opportunity to learn and to train together and make sure that your neighborhood is safe. So whether you have a neighborhood watch or you have an HOA that's not knowing exactly what to do, we will be reaching out next year to start implementing these programs for the people that would like to have them. We can't force everybody to do everything, but I think just having a basic understanding of what do I do in the event of X, even like a gas leak at your own home. Do you know what to do? Well, we're going to provide some of those skills and tools for you so you have that confidence to keep your family and also your neighbors safe when that's happening. So I look forward to that. We're working diligently with our police chief, Ruby, and I think he just stepped out for a call, but also Tyler Lewis, our fire chief, and I'll get into a little bit more details of how they operate in a minute. But I thought it was interesting to know where does our tax dollars actually go? I said before, we have 10 taxing districts within our community, and not knowing where our tax dollars go is kind of one of the interesting things in life that people just, they don't have time to take advantage of learning where all their tax dollars go. But the city of Eagle takes in 11.2% of the property tax that we acquire through the state. And we do have liquor tax and we have sales tax that come into the community, but our $61 million budget seems like a lot until you start implementing out all of these things that the city has to provide, the services through Public Works and the intricate parts of IT, Treasury Department, IT, and the clerk's office and things of that nature. And we'll speak on those a little bit as we move forward. But one of the taxing districts that I would like to talk about real quick is ACHD, or the Ada County Highway District. This district is unique. It's the only one of its kind in the whole United States. So when you move to Eagle or you move to the Treasure Valley, especially only into Ada County, you go, wow, what's going on here? I call the city and I tell them, hey, I have a pothole, or I have, congestion going on, or I don't know what's the turn signals are all set up for. Well, we transfer that information to the highway district because they're responsible for every roadway within the Ada County. And then the highways are Idaho Transportation Department. So you have two entities, and I would say those that come from California, that there's Caltrans that works the main highways, but most cities and counties provide the services for their own roads. Well, we have a special district that provides all of that, and so all of the projects that are coming through within the city of Eagle are implemented and designed and engineered by the Ada County Highway District. And every one of you that's lived here for a while, even if you lived here since a week or two ago, you understand there's been some downtown disruption with the streets and the reconfiguration of the intersection. Here's the deal. This is a 10-year in the making project that was brought back into fruition right now. So we're experiencing this program that was implemented by them over 10 years ago, and what they've done, they've enhanced the Plaza Eagle intersection, if you didn't see that. And some of the delays were also why they had the street dug up. We wanted them to look at the water mains that were going on in there, and some of the interesting things, back in the day, conduit and other things like that were buried in the street. We couldn't find the recordings to that, so they found it as they dug up the street. So that put some delay into it. So you can imagine you're on this timeline schedule and you find things that take you off schedule. I think every family can attest to that. You're supposed to be at church or you're supposed to be at work at a certain time, and guess what? The kids aren't ready. And then what happens? You're supposed to get them ready. No, you're supposed to get them ready, and it becomes a little chaotic. So what we're doing is we're making sure through our end with the city, with the Ada County Highway District, is that we're in collaboration with them. And Erin, she's sitting in the back. She's our communications director. We've done a great job. I say ACHD's done a great job with giving the information needed on a daily basis. Actually, it's a weekly basis, but one of the problems with any construction in the downtown is it really has an effect and an impact on local businesses. And I think that's one of the hard things, because the city can't pay for these businesses to stay in business while the construction's going on. So what we're trying to do, and I know it's been a rough road for some of these businesses, we're trying to get the information to them and let them understand we're getting out every week, shop local, go downtown. Downtown's open. We did have a little snafu with traffic going westbound on State Street coming up to 2nd Street. And people, believe it or not, there was 5 or 6 signs, but they all got to the end thinking somehow miraculously they can get through, and they had to do a U-turn and turn around, or get into the other parking lots of some of our local businesses on the corner, which caused a little chaos. So the command decision for ACHD was to just shut the road down. It shortened the lifespan of the construction project by 2 weeks, which I think all the businesses would say, yes, whatever it takes to get this stuff done sooner, we're on board. So when this is all completed, this project, there's 2 phases, and basically phase 1 was the downtown in the Plaza Road and Eagle area, and it's working its way around to 2nd Street, and 2nd Street's going to have a signal light in there, and then the whole thing will actually run smoother And today we're actually working through Aikens, and the private sector helped us with get Aikens punched through from Eagle Road to 2nd Street, which will help the flow of traffic a lot better in that area. And also, you got to remember, anytime you get traffic in a bottleneck, it has a negative impact on public safety and the ability for them to respond in a timely manner to your crisis or your needs. So the sooner we get this done, it's a benefit to the whole community, and we look forward to that happening as soon as possible. All right, I want to move on. If I didn't tell you a little bit about Phase 2, Phase 2 will be implemented next year. Phase 1 is completed sometime at the end of this month, but Phase 2 will be finishing up during next year, 2025. During that time, and I'll touch base on it a little bit, the Heritage Park renovation project, which a couple of the former mayors and myself are working on this committee to see if we can't make that, because we're having to expand that a little bit because the size of the city. We've outgrown that Heritage Park location, so we're going to keep it there. The gazebo's going nowhere. It's going to maintain, that's one of our cornerstones of our city, and the quaintness of it and the beauty of it, and we appreciate that, and we don't want to lose that. So right now, I would like to go also into a little bit back to the public safety aspect and some of the taxing districts. Ada County, the tax monies that go to Ada County provide a level of service from our Sheriff's Department that we contract, which we call Eagle Police Department. So you see the Tahoes and the cars driving around town, it says Eagle Police. And people say, well, you have your own police department. Yes, we do, but it is from the Ada County Sheriff's Department contract. All of the deputies are all sworn deputies with Ada County Sheriffs, and we have 30 of them, including Chief Ruby, supporting and servicing our community of 37 plus, and we're really on the brink of 40,000 people, folks. We're getting closer, and it's not out of control growth. It's just growth has been happening at a time where people, the developers, they have the confidence to start putting their hard monies and their sponsored monies into play to provide living spaces for those that want to come to our community. So I appreciate Chief Ruby and all the hard work they've done. We've been able to expand. We went from 27 to 30 now, and that's including him still. So he could respond to a call if needed. He's still able to do it, but I think in these days he'd prefer just to be the administrator for what's going on out there. But all their equipment, all of their vehicles are all from Ada County as well within the contract, but they are all always top-notch, top quality pieces of equipment and providing the service levels that you guys need and you're expecting as you're paying those taxes towards them. I want to touch base a little bit about our Eagle Fire District. I also serve on that board as a fire commissioner, so that's my world and that's my passion, so I really, really love our Eagle Fire District. But it services a broad 92 square miles of service area, and then we have 3 stations right now, a 4th on the way on Eagle Road in Colchester, and then we also provide a contract service with North Ada County Fire and Rescue up in Hidden Springs. So the people that have been up to Hidden Springs or might live there or know people there, there was a station that was sitting dormant for quite a few years, and they came to the Eagle Fire Protection District and asked for the services. So they provide the station, they provide the equipment, they provide the budget, but we provide the staffing model so that that station can be adequately staffed, and that takes a lot of pressure off the hillside there with levels of service provided that's needed for them. We really appreciate that too. And so they are a taxing district within themselves. It says Eagle Fire, but actually they are a district. So I want to make sure that that's kind of part of this whole information tonight that I'm giving you, that you kind of know who and what and who does what and why, and how much it really affects as a community. Also, one of our taxing districts that you may not know is Ada County Paramedic Services. They are our EMS portion, actually advanced life support, the ALS portion, because all the firefighters are advanced EMTs, which emergency medical technicians that provide services up to the paramedic, which is a licensed position. And they're in need right now, folks, also. But what I'm hoping to implement over the next few years is a collaborative effort with not only law enforcement, but the Ada County Sheriff's Department, and having public safety buildings, instead of having these buildings that they're individually paid for by these tax dollars and they're out trying to raise money or get a bond to build a station. I'd rather have them in the same station with a different bay, and it'll be a much better and more economical, viable building for you guys to have, support, and your response times will actually be enhanced by these three entities coming out of one building. So we're looking into the future to see if we can't implement that and make that happen. Okay, I'd like to move over into the city now. And if you notice, there's kind of like a wheel up here on this stage. And I did this on purpose because you guys are basically the tire, if you'll work through this visual with me. The citizens are what keeps the city together. If it wasn't for your tax dollars and your involvement, the city would just flounder and it wouldn't have any purpose behind it, even though, well, it's supposed to be a government agency and you're supposed to be taking care of me. Well, that's not necessarily the facts all the time. So you have your elected officials that make the legislative decisions. You have your staff, and I'll get into that in a few minutes, that really makes or breaks a community. For either our treasurer, our clerk's office, our planning and zoning, our IT, public works, the museum, I'll go into the list as we go. But each one of these entities has a viable part of making sure the success or failure to our community. And each one of these people, they work extremely hard, and I really appreciate each one of them. And I've only known them for going on 5 years now, but they really do an excellent job, and they're doing the best they can with the staff levels that they have. And we've been fortunate enough through the budget coming through and the graciousness of the city council working hard to find funding elements for every department. Most departments are actually getting a staffing model now that is really representative of the services that you guys need out there on a day-to-day basis. Here's one of the interesting factors too, is the community through volunteers. These are all you. These boards here are you, the citizens. And I could read through them real quick, but you go everything for Conservation Advisory Committee, Design Review Board, Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee, Eagle Arts Advisory Committee, Historic Preservation Commission, Library Board, Parks, Pathways, Recreation Commissions, Planning and Zoning Commissions, and Urban Renewal Agencies. These are all elected, selected, you volunteer, you put your applications in, and then we interview you, and we place you on the boards that are appropriate for your skill level, and sometimes we just don't have enough members. And we have 40, I believe it's almost 50 people, 47 I think total, but out of 47 or 50 of you out there are on these boards making decisions and helping make our city run and have an effective way of bringing those pieces that are missing. So you're actually providing information and you're providing opportunity from your voice to actually be heard in these boards and committees. And I applaud those people for volunteering and taking their time out to make sure that they're doing their part in making this community what it is today. So now we're going to talk a little bit about our city staff. Most of them are over to the left and in the middle here. But I tell you, without the city staff, I said this already, but nothing functions properly. We have over almost 100 staff members, some full-time, some part-time, but mainly that keeps the daily operations intact of what's going on within the city. I have an executive team, and I'm looking for an economic development person as we speak, and we'll be putting out an application or a job announcement soon for that position. But we have Nicole Bear Spencer. She's our long-range planning. There she is over here. And she's in charge of the capital plan and all the budgeting and funding for that, all the transportation, and all the long-range planning that we do within the city. And of course, you met Dana earlier. She's my public information officer, and she provides all of those, helps with all the support of all of those entities for social media and everything to keep the citizens informed as best as possible as we work through each day in our lives. Okay, let's move on to Public Works. This department is kind of like the circus, the net under the circus, if you will. They do everything. They're attached to everything in the city. Whether it's supporting public safety, because they may have to bring cones out, they may have to do sandbagging, they may have to do equipment involvement, but they also are an intricate part of that. but at the same time, they provide services for all the facilities, all of the parks, everything that's connected with the city of Eagle. They are involved with trails, parks, pathways. You can see up in the right-hand corner there, that's the Heritage Park that we're going to be working with HECO, and I wasn't going to pick on Mike, but HECO, our engineering firm, they're working diligently to try to make sure that's all up to speed, because we have a splash pad that's going in. We're doing some rewiring for speakers. We'll have some music out there for the people, even on the streets themselves. And we're looking forward to implementing that project, like I said, next year. And then we have some of our former mayor's names. You see Merrill Park and you see Gerber Park, and those two are some of the family-owned and provided properties that we appreciate that they provided to the city to have families and kids to be able to enjoy the parks within our community. And of course, the Pamela Baker Park, we're working that on the south end of the city here, and that's basically a natural habitat location where you can just go. It's a tranquil location. It's just open space, and you can look at wildlife there and everything. So that's kind of a unique park within itself. So as I said, Public Works diligently working through their budgets. Here's some of the other things that they've also participated in. We have an all-weather trail bike. Everyone knows where the bike park is. It's also where Pet IQ Dog Park is. But we put over we got free concrete, and somebody designed, they call it the concrete jungle, into this bike unique pathway that mainly a lot of pro bikers and stuff, could come and utilize this state-of-the-art facility, but you can also use it for trails up into the hills and everything. And it's just a beautiful area for people that like to entertain themselves on walk paths or bike paths and trails, but they have a lot of skilled kids that really utilize it. And they go off these jumps, and I don't know how they do it, but they do. And so what you can see is also one of the Orville Crasson Park. They just completed the upgrades of the equipment and some of the landscaping needs that were there. So that's one of the projects that was implemented just within this last year. And of course, I said before, they keep the parks, the trailways groomed and maintained, especially along all the pathways within the city, but also at the green belt as well in our portion of the community. Some of the things they've done this year too is we had the largest Arbor Day with tree planting, not just a bunch of trees, but the largest attended group for the Public Works event put on for the Arbor Day this year. And it was hosted, it was just a great time at the Pet IQ Park in the Woods Pond. They were some of these kids out there were actually digging holes and planting trees. So they got used to being an arborist at that age there. And I just appreciate all the support that they brought to the community on that project alone. We also had the Spring Fling, which was also a time where we had over 100 volunteers and Public Works staff that helped clean up and prepare the parks for our summer seasons. And if you've seen the parks right now, you know fall is quickly coming and the leaves are turning, the trees are turning, the leaves are falling. So there's a lot of work to be done still out there. So when these projects come up, it's great in the spring to catch all the things that we weren't able to do in the past. So talk a little bit about the fiber project that's around here. We're working diligently to install the backbone of the system in parts of our community. Fiber will be installed in 4 phases over time. And currently we have 10 miles of conduit in the ground around the city and working towards areas of need. So stay tuned next year. We'll be coming to give some updated information on where the fiber project is and where it's going and what's happening with that. Now, I just told you about those electromagnetic pulse opportunities that could happen in our community. This is our IT team, and they daily monitor cyber attacks, making sure all the phones, the computers, all of the intricate working parts within the city function well. And they're the ones that they're like ping pong balls. They're all over the place because every department has a need and everybody has a want. And that crew right there is working their tail off trying to answer all the computer issues that are coming up. And Devontae is Goodman is in the center there, and he's the director. And I'm sorry, I've got a little ahead of myself, but Eric Ziegenfuss is also the director of Public Works. And I will make sure that everybody gets announced, all the department heads, as we move forward, because without them, their departments would fail. And these guys are professional, these women are professionals, they know what they're doing, and they're very good at their job. We also have the GIS, or the system. There's a couple of them there. It'd be to my right, to your left. And they are doing all of the mapping and upgrades of all of the things that are needed through the IT world portion of the GIS portion of the department. Okay, let's get in real quick into clerks. I'm trying to hurry through you because some of this stuff is a little dry, and I appreciate your patience with that. But these people in each one of these departments are very, very important and vital. Without the city, like I said, would not function without them. So we have our clerks and our treasurer's department, and they are responsible. First, we have Tracy Osborne, which is our city clerk. We have the treasurer, Kelly Rico, which is our treasurer. We have our human resource director, Sherry Horton. And basically what they do is their department keeps all the records, the meetings, receives payments and licenses, and Eagle Water bills, which is its own enterprise account, which means you can't touch the money that comes into them, and helps write the ordinances and city codes, and is one of the first points of contact that you'll meet when you walk into City Hall. So all three of the department personnel that's in the lobby are really, they're all friendly. They all want you to come and say hi, but they do a very good job of what they're doing to keep the city functioning. They also offer a couple of detailed things that we've done so far. They offer an online payment option to reduce the city's cost of streamlined process to reduce the staffing hours as well. So almost $1.1 million has been collected via a prompt pay option. The city provides an online business with alcohol licenses, applications, vendor and solicitor permits, and public records requests. We have offer a 2-year dog license now for most people, which helps not only the owners, the dog owners, but also the public. So we're going to move on to the water department. We have a municipal water. We also have a private water entity, Veolia, that services about half of the community here. But our municipal water is directed by Ken Acuff, and they maintain the services of all the water mains, meters, pump stations, and quality assurance standards to provide safe drinking water for us. Eagle Water is reliable, is tested safe, is generally free from poor taste and odors. And I've heard some other cities have a little bit of odor problem with some of their water. I've never tasted it, so I don't know, but that's what I've been told. So I appreciate how our standards are met and maintained through the requirements from the state law as well feds. They had over 148 new homes this year, and they provide the services to over 3,600 customers. So as we move on to our Planning and Zoning Department, the Planning and Zoning Department is directed by Bill Vaughn. They receive and review plans. They do landscaping and building designs. They ensure that they meet the Eagle standards, as well as provide code enforcement. Development, also within the city of Eagle, requires 20% open space, which is unique to most cities. So that means that every development has to provide some kind of landscaping and open space. They just can't build curb to curb around their development, which I think that's unique. And if you see the beautiful berms and the tree lines and everything within the city, one of the examples, and I don't want to pick on any other city, but if you go Eagle Road southbound and make a right on Chinden, you start going down, you see on the right-hand side, it's the city of Eagle. And it's got beautiful landscape, trees, berms. If you look to the left, it's got a sound wall. So I don't know which one you would prefer, but I like the beautification of the city and some of the requirements that our former council members and mayors had provided to us to enjoy. So we also increased the staff to assist the need for applications that come in, and they have reviewed over 130 plans to date. Design review ensures the high design standards are met They reviewed and approved 48 building applications, 30 sign applications, and inspected 61 commercial buildings. As we move forward to our building department, which director is Steve Nash, and the building department is responsible for the inspections of all the residential and commercial building permits and issues certificates of occupancy when these buildings are finished. So they're out constantly inspecting to make sure these buildings are built the way the architects designed them, and they're also not falling down, which is one of the safety issues that we want to make sure things are built correctly in the city of Eagle. They increased their staff, bringing more services in-house. They've included residential building inspectors, and this year the building department issued 417 residential and 15 commercial building permits in Eagle. So that just gives you a little bit of the workload of what they're doing and the impact that they have on a daily basis to make sure the city is functioning in a safe manner. I want to move quickly on to our museum department. That's directed by Elena Dunn, and they are responsible for the property and preservation of Eagle's history and maintaining the Eagle Museum and historical and preservation options. And this year, the Eagle Museum, as you can see, has implemented a few things to draw you in to visit them, and they do a exhibit that changes monthly. They also have a new sign that shows the museum hours. So when you first pull up, it does look like a church. It's an old church, so it fits in really well to have a church-like sign that provides the service hours for them. And then started a monthly tour on the last Friday of the month, and they obtained a grant for a consultant to conduct a historical house report on the Orville Jackson home, which is here off of Eagle Road. Now, probably one of the more creative and enjoyable departments from their perspective is our recreation department. They're led by Brian Allen, and they bring a lot of fun to the city. They bring the city big events. They bring sports programs, classes, and operate our senior center and programming. Those events have shown, we've had 9 of them, I think, over this year. But the events, they've moved all the big events and Saturday market to the City Hall campus because of the downtown mobility project going on. And we wanted the safety of the citizens to be the paramount focus. So 2025 events will also be hosted at the Eagle City Hall campus while Heritage Park is under construction. And then we've had feedback from both locations, so we're going to try to implement programs at both locations. And one of the things that will also enhance the local businesses so they would be able to thrive again with the functionality of the signal light going into 2nd and State, but also the foot traffic that they're desperately looking for. One of the other things that the recreation program provides is our youth sports. And right now, we've actually had over 700 kids enrolled to play soccer. And so we had to prioritize it to just to the local Eagle residents at this time. The future sports complex will be a welcome addition to the city, and that will provide an ample amount of opportunity for not only our local kids and adults even to recreate and have sporting events there, but also tournament play, and we can bring some of the transient tax dollars into our community from other people. So look forward to those opportunities. The Senior Center had a remodel done. It's beautiful. If you take a look in it, it's open, fresh, and it's ready to go. We have a new coordinator there, Sean Tamburino, and he's implementing all kinds of activities for the seniors. I didn't think that I was really a senior until you could start at 55 and can go into these things. And I just turned 66 last month, and I don't know, I guess I'm qualified as a senior for sure now. But I've visited them, and Sean is really energetic, and he's ready to really implement a lot of these programs for the seniors to enjoy as we move forward in the community. We're going to move on to the Eagle Library right now, and their staff is directed by Steve Baumgardner. They continue to provide a large variety of books and other resources, and at the library, they have an online service to help the community. They've also had 720,000 items borrowed in this year alone, and 25,000 people have attended the library classes or the events. And they're one of those boards that they're a board of trustees So that's a state mandated board that they are also appointed through my office and the acceptance with the city council. And we look forward to the success for the library as time comes. One of the interesting things they've implemented now is the Parent TV. It's another helpful resource. And this it provides parents videos covering multiple topics available on demand and in multiple languages, which is also unique. Since launching this year, over 2,500 videos have been viewed. There's that. Okay, they also have, through the kind, gracious sponsorship of the Valnova, it's called the Family Place Space. And if you walk into the library, it's immediately to your left, and that's where all the kids can come and play and have a good time. And they've had over 100,000 people visit this place in just 1 year. So that's a pretty popular location, and we appreciate the continued sponsorship with Valnova for that. So let's talk a little bit where we're headed. The city obviously is working on our Eagles City Sports Complex, and believe it or not, we have to change that name because the bike park also has a similar name to it. So we're looking for how we're going to implement the change to that. But as you can see, to the side, it'd be on this side, those 4 ball fields and the infrastructure that gets to them have already been provided in the initial $2.2 million of city monies and your hard-earned tax dollars to go towards it. It's basically an 80-acre sports facility designed for multi-use park and sports and recreation. We're implementing a capital campaign to raise funds to complete phases 1 through 4 for the park. The park's total estimated cost at this time is between $22 and $27 million. The city has already paid the $2.2 million for the infrastructure, but we're diligently looking towards having a capital campaign to raise $5.5 million for phase 1, which includes the infrastructure and preparing for the 4 baseball fields that you see over here on the right-hand side. Let's move over to the archery range real quick. A lot of people will say, well, isn't that the shooting range? Well, right now it is, but we are finishing up the archery range. And it basically, we spent $630,000 for the archery range here, which basically has 16 lanes of static target shooting, and that's what you're looking at now. And then it has a 17-point three-dimensional animals over a mile course that you could come and you can shoot and practice and hone in your archery skills. So with those coming up, I think we're gonna cut ribbon cutting at the end of this month. So we're looking forward to that. And that's basically, if you go Eagle Road all the way up, turns into Willow Creek, it's on your right-hand side, and you won't be able to miss it. And we've had to put a fencing and some security around there because people decided that it was a hot rod place and do donuts and stuff, and we had to correct that and believe it or not, take care of your tax dollars that are going up into your event places. We also have the Mace parking lot that's just right on the other side of the Pet Bike Bridge on the south side that we're going to implement, and we're going to provide parking for them because right now Idaho Transportation Department no longer is, and I agree with them, finding it safe for people to park along the side roads of Eagle Road because it goes anywhere from 45 to 105 miles an hour, it seems like sometimes. But the speed limit's 55 through there. But we're trying to provide some parking for a safe location so you can get onto the Greenbelt via the bike and pedestrian park. You can either go under Eagle Road now, or you could go over the bridge and continue on the west side of the street. I touched for a few seconds on the Heritage Park remodel a few minutes ago, but basically what we're doing here is in 2025, we're going to preserve the gazebo, like I said before, and expand the park into the parking lot area, which is also the city's property. So we're not encroaching on any private business parking lot there. But it'll also help increase the market in the plaza spaces and size there, and install a new splash pad for the kids to enjoy. And one of the main things we're starting off right now is it's going to be expanding and facilitating the Fiber Tech Hut and also concession stand and expanding the restrooms there. So it's a three-phase building that will be being able to provide. We'll have more. We have implemented basic design already, but I'm looking forward to bringing that to you next year as a completed project so you can see exactly what's going on with that. And that project should be at the completion of phase 2 at the ACHD's mobility phase 2 project. So we're hoping we can tandem that at the same time. So we're limiting the amount of construction and noise and flow pattern for the traffic as best as possible. So we're trying to kill two birds with one stone, if you will. Next, we're getting into the Orville Jackson home here on Eagle Road next to Rembrandt's. And the city council approved the development of an adaptive reuse study to determine the use options for the city and the property that is owned by the city there. The goal is to complete the study by the end of late 2025, so next year. So as you can see, some of these projects we're in transition right now, and most of them will be able to come back and tell you exactly this time next year where we're at with these, and hopefully a lot of them have been implemented and you're enjoying those with your families on a day-to-day basis. Okay, City Hall improvements. We are reconfiguring City Hall as we've expanded and grew City Hall out to accommodate our staffing needs within the back. So we're looking to accommodate and implementing new design and moving the staff around so that they flow better and they have better service levels and models for you as the time comes. And we'll also be repairing and improving a safety issue on the library front concrete pad that the tree roots have uprooted some of the concrete there, and it's become a safety issue. So we are going to fix that, working through Public Works to get that remedied and taken care of for you. So the safety part of it is not a factor that we have to deal with. In conclusion, one of my goals is to continue to provide grant funding for our community. I recently attended online and in-person seminars over the course of 6 months to receive a $20,000 grant for health services in our community. And successfully completing this grant, we are qualified to apply for special grant opportunities now, which we would not have been privileged to unless we went to this health academy, and it was great to participate and look forward to those options that they're going to provide us for our health in our community as time goes forward there. So truly I'm honored to serve you as the mayor of the city of Eagle. I appreciate the opportunity to work with the citizens in our awesome city and look forward to maintaining our strong, safe community that we all enjoy. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, my name is Dr. John Malpe. I'm the current president of the board for the Eagle Chamber of Commerce. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out and listening to the mayor give us a wonderful update on everything that's happening in our city, and to support all of our members and to support everyone that's here. I want to thank all of our sponsors that we have behind us. Please, before you leave, go out, visit all the vendors and all the sponsors. They're here to support you guys. They're here to make this event free for everyone. And please, please, please go see them all, go get some food. Also, there is a raffle basket out there. It's worth $500. If you guys want to get on that, we're going to pull your card, but you got to see all the vendors to be a part of the raffle. So go get that card and get in on it. And please go out again and support everybody. Thank you again, Mayor. Thank you for Eagle Naz. And I will let you guys go. Go get some food and say hi to all our vendors. Thank you so much again.